Is the volume loud enough for you guys? Hi, nice to meet you. A very warm welcome from my behalf. My name is Choi, and I'm industry leader for FMCG business and retail business in the German territory for Facebook, which is an interesting job. And I hope you understand after my presentation why this is the case. So anyway, I'm happy that the topic is resonating, massive reach on video and mobile. Apparently, I'm going to talk about video and mobile, but not per se. Video and reach, especially on the mobile platform, actually offers a lot of vast opportunities for brand building and marketing with business objectives. So please bear with me. We have had some technical issues here. I don't have a preview for my presentation, which is still fine because I'm kind of knowing my presentations, but in a way it also feels a little bit like PowerPoint karaoke. So this being said, I want to deep dive into the topic of today, which is brand building. And to understand brand building, we have to take a look into how media mass channels have evolved. And I've brought a colorful picture here, which is probably a typical situation how media consumption has been like 60 to 70 years ago, with one of the first mass reach media channels back in the time, which was the newspaper. If you now dive or make a time jump to today, you might be bumping into a picture like this. Something that might be probably familiar to each one of us, probably happening in the train station, bus station, underground, or on the way to the NOAH, being on the airport. People start their discovery and their source of information on the mobile phone, basically everywhere, connected all the time, being always online. And this has happened and evolved in quite a fast time window. That is a table that you probably might know from many different presentations, but it still is kind of striking because it clearly shows how the mobile behavioral consumption and the mobile consumption and the behavior of using mobile has changed in a dramatically small time window. Let's say the iPhone 1 is the mother of all platforms, driving the app business, disrupting a lot of industries and creating a lot of new business opportunities. It was introduced in early 2007, which means that is only a time window of 8 years that we're actually talking about. And the impact it had on our personal and professional lives, I think everyone has his own experience with that. This being said, it is important to understand because in a lot of situations, we tend to have a conversation on mobile as a technological discussion. But if we see how the media consumption has changed, we need to change the perspective and consider mobile a consumer behavior, which creates the right angle to identify and understand the marketing opportunities coming out of that development. Please bear with me, we're an American company and we like to use catchy slogans. We at Facebook consider this to be mobile is eating the world. We had some studies on especially the millennial target group in the USA. And the millennials, or if you would refer them to the German market, the young adults, probably between 14 to 29, in average have 5 mobile devices. Just take this. On top of that, 80% of those millennials spent all their waking time, except 2 hours, connected and with their mobile phones. This, from a strategic point of view, how this consumer behavior change impacts marketing, makes it very clear that the start of the customer journey, the consumer journey, actually starts on mobile. And we need to rethink on how we prepare creative strategies, brand building strategies to that consumer behavior change. Another stat that in a way might question the situation of the dental hygienic environment across the globe. We have 7 billion people in the world, 5.1 own a cell phone, but only 4.2 own a toothbrush. Shocking, huh? What was the impact this kind of development had on Facebook? We changed all our strategies, internal structures and processes from desktop to mobile first. And this is not like a myth or a story. In 2011, Mark Zuckerberg decided and mandated that every coder, every person at Facebook programming who is not capable of doing code for mobile had to learn it if he wanted to stay with the company. That is one part. But also in terms of structures and processes and the way products are designed, we start everything with the mobile device. The reality coming out of that is that Facebook offers a multi-channel environment. And talking about fragmentation in the digital landscape, on the devices that people use, Facebook offers consistent reach across all devices, starting from desktop, and as I stated, more importantly and strongly growing on the mobile platform. We tend to say the future of marketing is mobile. That is bullshit. Mobile is the new normal because the people are there. And people don't just surf the internet. On the mobile phone, they discover content and information that is relevant for them. They use communicational tools and apps to interact in groups or one-to-one. And everything is getting organized in feeds. Apparently, it's not only Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp. There are more feeds. It is important to understand how the structure of communication has changed and kind of funneled into these feed platforms. That is an example of my feed on Twitter. And there's one very important information in there. It's strongly personalized. Those of you looking carefully will see that I'm a total fan of music machines, still producing techno music in the spare free time that I have. On top of that, it has social connection. And I have it accessible everywhere because it's a mobile app. The same apparently applies for Instagram and for Facebook as well. This very simply shows how I, and probably everyone else, is organizing informational services, entertainment, and service functionalities on his mobile phone. Basically, you're creating containers for different functions, for different purposes. And that, from a strategic point of view, is also something that is strongly driving the way how Facebook sees the landscape evolving. I will now show you a very ugly illustration, but in a way it totally makes sense, and it displays what the strategic path forward will look like from our point of view. On the left side, this is what we consider to be better. This is the structure of the internet organized over a desktop computer. You will basically access the internet via a browser and either search for other destinations or maneuver around via links. If you remember just the container principle I explained to you, if you break it down now into this comparison, the web on mobile platforms gets organized around the persons, organized in computers and functionalities which are highly personalized. And that is a dramatic change in the way everything is structured and the way people make use of their apps and the digital sphere, to say so. These bubbles show the relative time spent by the size of the bubble on all these apps. Wonderful apps, true. The time spent on Facebook and Instagram overlies every one of them. Broken down into German market figures, because I'm responsible for the German market territory. 27 million active users per month make use of Facebook, and that is not that statistics. These are numbers of active users maneuvering and using Facebook. 21 million on a daily scale, 17 million of them on the mobile phone, with a frequency of 15 sessions per day. And just reconnecting why we are here. It's about massive reach with video and mobile for brand building and marketing purposes. That is massive reach, a massive opportunity to get your brand and marketing messages across. How does it look like from a media perspective? And these are charts that probably, especially media agency people, kind of know. I don't want to compare Facebook to other different media categories. I just want to put it into perspective from a reach point of view. As I stated, 27 million active users on a monthly base, 22 million on a daily base, compared to RTL with an average daily reach of 8 million people, to 12 million approximately with Germany's largest newspaper, which is the Bild, RMS radio networks, and T-Online, who was the massive leader up to last year, and we surpassed them with a monthly active user potential of 27 million per month. What does it mean for us as brand marketeers? We in Germany have a referential advertising target group, which was, I don't know, defined like 20 years ago with the introduction of private channels, TV channels in the German market, which are the young, which are the adults 14 to 49. On Facebook, active users that we can actually address with brand and marketing messages, we have 24 million of them. And it's quite 50-50% divided into women and men using Facebook. To just put that into the right perspective, what it means in terms of reach potential with a frequency of 15 sessions per day on average, that means this is 64% of the total German potential of the core advertising audience group. The same for young adults. And I find it striking because the press has been kind of stating that Facebook would have challenges with young adults, especially the millennials. And that, from my point of view, when I take a look into our systems, totally doesn't make sense, because 92% of the young adults in Germany, 14 to 29, use Facebook on a monthly basis. 92%. That's basically covering everyone in this audience where advertising probably might make sense. Another angle towards the reach that Facebook offers. One of the big tentpole shows that TV still offers, it's Tatort, 30 million viewers in average. That is by far lower. As I stated, daily average reach on mobile, 17, daily active users across mobile and desktop on Facebook, 22 million per day. So the question is, because it's also something that is getting discussed in the industry back and forth, what is actually the second screen? 50% of people using Facebook are watching TV. I think that happened in such a vast and small time window that we really need to reconsider this question. What is the second screen? Or shall we just only talk about screens? 4 billion views is the number that people discover native video content on Facebook on a daily basis. And that happened due to the introduction of our so-called auto video product in the newsfeed. We started measuring and counting the view numbers in August of the last year. When we did that, and I'm referring only to the native videos uploaded in Facebook format, and that's excluding referral links to YouTube and other platforms. When we started to count that in August last year, the number was 1 billion. So within 3 quarters, this jumped up to 4 billion. ComScore is tracking that performance as well. And to just give you a view on that, 1 billion video views 3 quarters ago led to 12 billion views in total, including links outside of platform. And that is how it looks like.
This is the all-new Ford Mustang.
The video reality on mobile phones is here. It's not only the numbers, it also works from a functional point of view, a technological point of view. I still remember when I was working for Bertelsmann, which is 15 years ago, I was sitting in a new economy, strategic development, business development department. And we had a conversation on, would people ever watch videos on a mobile device? Yeah? And the answer clearly was no, they won't. And why? Because we had this huge bone-like phones from Nokia with a monochrome display. Yeah? And the bandwidth was a true hurdle to overcome. Now that has changed. As I already stated, Facebook is getting more and more the center of discovery. And 76% of the people who discovered video content refer it to discovery on Facebook. That is a strong proposition. And that is something that basically we put as a core message towards the market probably since 5 years, because Facebook evolved as a marketing platform. It's not about social media, and it's not about social media KPIs anymore. It's about marketing. And that shows why. When we started out 11 years ago, 2004, with the launch of Facebook, of course we were a social media platform offering first USPs and products to engage and connect people with brands. Along with that, we developed our micro-targeting opportunities to create opportunities for sales and sales push via direct response and performance business. Building up that massive reach and driving this video consumption on the mobile phone, we are now at a state where we have very sophisticated tools and opportunities for brand building and communications for business marketing objectives on the upper funnel. The funny thing is, the way this evolved on Facebook is one-to-one, adaptable, transferable to the purchase funnel model. And with Facebook nowadays, you basically can do everything from inspiration and building up awareness over conversion, which is the sales push, to retention management or loyalty and CRM business. And there are no mysteries on how to do that on Facebook. The rules are very simple and very much straightforward. You need the right people, you need the right content, and combining that in the right way, you will get marketing impact. And I will show you an example on how that works for Facebook, especially on mobile, with special-made, tailor-made content and strategies from a brand building perspective on the next slides. First, focus on the people. It's about people and not pixels. Pixels are creating connections to machines. And this approach crumbles if several people use one machine, which is still the case. Facebook follows people and makes people addressable, which in a fragmented landscape with a customer journey that is getting more and more complex and getting spread across several devices is a very important fact. If you think about brand building in terms of reach, how many people do I reach from that target audience, and how many times did I reach them? We all know about these media plans where there are a lot of opportunities to see in theory for a larger number of people, but then we see in the campaign reporting that a few people saw your advertising message, your marketing message, many times instead of evenly being spread like butter across a bread. Reaching Lisa and Michael, that is the way it looked in the past. It was very socio-demographic and very rough. It was adult, age 25 to 54, probably with the interest of sports. The usual targeting accuracy in the market landscape, doing so is probably somewhere around 80%. Facebook is much more specific. We can address and identify Michael, age 35, likes basketball and buys sports drinks, etc., etc. And our targeting accuracy is above 90%. If you even make a more narrow targeting, our targeting accuracy stays with 90%, where other networks crumble down to probably 40%. What does it mean for your creative strategy and building brands with that massive reach and this targeting opportunities? One size fits all, because you couldn't you couldn't kind of leverage any segmentation, because the media channels so far didn't offer the opportunities as precisely as Facebook can do. So you would create one message for all, and that's still how many advertisers and creative agencies still approach the marketing strategies. But now, considering that you can do segmentations on Facebook like this, identify mom with kids 3+, identify new moms, even identify the grandmoms, we have the opportunity to create segment-specific brand messages, which makes messaging definitely more personal and more relevant. That's what we consider mass communication with the appeal of a personal communication. CocaCola, with us, made use of these segmentation opportunities. Within the context of the Super Bowl 2 years ago, they created a huge image spot with the goal to position Coca-Cola as an integral part of American life. America nowadays, or not only nowadays, but exists of a lot of different groups with different ethnical backgrounds. So they have been showing us this film and challenged us, guys, with all your segmentation and targeting opportunities, what kind of specified adjustments can you come up with? How can we change the creative approach on Facebook to make this even more specific? I will show you the film and then it totally gets clear, and I'll explain you exactly what we did.
Beautiful for spacious skies, por tus olas de grano sambar, yo piscina sakuti, sa ibabaw ng mga prutas. America, America, God shed His grace on thee.
Beautiful spot, always gets me every time I show it. So what we did is, we actually identified the ethnic groups of that film and identified them in their reach potential via our targeting on Facebook. And that is basically every ethnic group that you have seen, or a special interest group like women surfing, that we could identify in the United States. 6.2 million women surfing, 7.6 million newlyweds, 30 million lesbian, bi, gay, transgender community, new parents, etc., etc. And what we did is something that is very simple and beautiful at the same time. We changed the video entries while having still the same video clip, the same spot for these target audiences. The results of the campaign are NDA'd, unfortunately, so I cannot share them with you, but I just can share with you that this simple adjustment of creative strategy has created a tremendous resonance. Write stories. We have a challenge in the mobile environment because it's a touch screen, usually it is. And the new challenge is the thumb-stopping pausing power. And that basically actually is nothing new, because reading a newspaper, what is the average frequency that you would flip your page? 3 seconds, 2 seconds, I don't know. If you're not getting stuck in an article, you will probably flip over very quickly. On the remote control on TV, if something's boring, you will just switch a channel. This is a little bit more spontaneous. This is a little bit more intuitive. That is what is changing. And therefore, we need to be very creative on the way we connect with our potential target groups. The power of images and photos is incredibly important, especially on mobile devices. It needs to be immediately eye-catching and immersive and transportive. You need to create an instant connection. A lot of brands already discovered this power of pictures and videos. And some of our partners already developed their own brand visual language for our social platforms. I have an example that is a little bit more local, where we made use of all these aspects as a best practice campaign with an amazing result. It's bags. The challenge was that bags had a very localized brand perception. But living in a world that is more and more globalizing, they wanted to kind of connect the brand values more from a local moving into a global perspective with very specific brand values. The core creative idea for this campaign, as simple as it sounds, was quite amazing and funny at the same time. We created a journey around the world in 30 beers, following a millennial on his pathway around the world, having his lucky bags moments. And therefore, we created micro-branding elements, small stories, small snippets along with photos and videos. Examples. Apparently, this guy had a fantastic job for this campaign. Example for video. But now, let's take a look into that. Clear communication, straightforward messaging, a snippet, another snippet, immersive, really catching the attention. Apparently what we did was shooting those snippets along with a huge brand building spot that we used in the initial phase of this campaign with a big blast, massive reach in the millennial target group. This campaign had a reach of 10 million. And along with the brand building elements that were important for bags and the new positioning. Let's take a look into that. I think that one needs to be started in. actually pitched for this guy's role, but they didn't take me, which is a shame. Anyway, great campaign. Another segment, because it apparently works for all different kinds of industries and brands. Vodafone challenged us. They wanted to reconnect with the digital natives, with the millennials, because the communication was very much focused on what they started as businesses in the 90s. Solutions was also driven by different storylines, creating different angles and emotional benefits of the services for these target audiences. Let's take a look into the structure.
Hello, Lucy.
Hello?
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 Hello, Dimitri.
Hello?
There was a time when a phone was an awesome thing to have. A simple phone call could make your day, save your life, or scare you to death. These days are long gone. Phones today can do more than ever before, but people are taking this great technology for granted. Phones have become a commodity, and phone companies themselves don't do anything to change this perception. Vodafone wanted to make the invisible services visible again in young Germans' lives. So instead of showing off technical specs and screaming cheap offers, Vodafone reminded people how awesome the technology really is. Our storylines were driven entirely by surprising and relevant insights into Vodafone's invisible network and services, and showed how the digital lifestyle is making the world more exciting every day. The campaign reached 8 million millennials, and not only raised purchase intent by 36%, but also had a measurable impact on the bottom line. Overall, Vodafone measured a 6-fold return on ad spend for the campaign, even though no sales messages were posted. And that's a result everybody had the same reaction to.
I love you. Love you, pal.
I love you too.
Can I come up?
Okay.
A return on media invested of 6. That is incredible. I'll show you average return on media invested on Facebook on later slides, but that was a tremendously successful campaign. Why? Because it was very specific. It really told a brand story, paying into the DNA of the brand. Basically, classic marketing rules applied to the mobile environment, transferred and optimized for the mobile environment. We've seen this in the films, so I will not go deeper into that, but show you that example. All snippets also added in. Another snippet that I find wonderful. You make use of this high efficiency, of this high precise targeting opportunities to create micro messages to build the brand. Yeah? And that is wonderful because in that case, a lot of different segmented storylines, all paying into the DNA and the positioning of Vodafone, showing the benefits from a very emotional and funny point of view. On the other side, like the large Bex film, along with snippets. And these are the opportunities we have because we can tailor-make advertising and spots and films and these kind of snippets because we have this very precise, specific targeting opportunities. 8.2 million people reached, increase of purchase intent plus 36%, and a return of media invested, wow, it's 6.65. What are the key criteria why these campaigns have been successful? And what is their general structural foundation? First of all, it's not about social KPIs. It's not about likes, not about fans. It's nice to have them, but in that kind of brand building and marketing objective-driven campaign structure, it's about having a plan on reach and frequency. That is important. Then, Facebook and Instagram both offer a vast creative canvas. You can build and communicate your brands via sound, sight, and motion. That is important. Yeah? We make the experience that depending on your marketing objectives, a combination of both works best. We have the fantastic opportunity to actually work with the segmentation of our target groups, usually do it on scratch, but then going over to the creative strategy, which is transferred into a media plan, the segments somehow get lost on the way. You can make use of that. You can even create specific creatives for the segments. And by that, you create higher relevance and higher resonance. That's what it's about. Just to recall again, return on media invested on the Vodafone campaign, 6.65. And one thing that is still kind of striking, sometimes interns are kind of managing Facebook as a channel, which is crazy, considering the reach and the opportunities we have as a marketing channel. Please pay as much attention to the execution on Facebook as you would with all the other different channels. And as I already stated in the beginning of my presentation, the customer journey actually starts with the mobile phone. Probably it even needs even more and deeper consideration and attention. Let's go to the marketing impact. We have this massive reach compared to other reach players in the market. Yes, we do. We have these opportunities to drive along the funnel. And what is important for the marketing impact, we also have diverse and different products for each phase of the funnel that you are moving your potential client through. Starts with videos and photo ads. It goes into sequenced videos. You can give person one a brand message A, and we exactly know that he has seen the advert or the film or the video. Then you can send him the brand message 2. That's sequential marketing. You go into conversion with multiple product ads and retargeting, etc., etc. I will not go into each and every detail, but that is important. To make this principle also clear in a very illustrative way, this is an example on how it could work for a sports company promoting running and the products for running. Drive awareness, blast, big reach, huge, huge, huge video or TV spot. It's running time, are you ready? Core message. Then all the stuff that makes a run great, we offer it. And as we can identify who has, or steer who has seen the advert, in which sequence and which time window and which frequency, we can drive that person's or that audience's into conversion. That creates marketing impact, apparently along with great creation and the right segmentation and the relevant messaging. Does it work on Facebook? And yes, it does. I mean, the Vodafone campaign was tremendously successful. This is average numbers from the GfK, who measured a lot of Facebook campaigns. And the average numbers of all campaigns measured by GfK in 2014 led to an incremental reach on Facebook versus TV of plus 26%. An average return on invest of media of 0.93 versus TV 0.27, with a higher efficiency in a ratio of 1 to 5. Billions of stories, millions of apps. Where are you? Alone on Facebook, the average user has 1,700 stories in his or her newsfeed per day. So really make use of the marketing opportunities and the planning opportunities Facebook offers now. And it's simple. By adding mobile into the media mix like any other channel. And I've shown you the numbers on media consumption on the mobile platform. Still, nowadays, it's below 1% of share of advertising investments getting channeled onto the mobile platform. And that's one simple principle. Money should follow eyeballs. We are far away from that. At the same time, apparently, we have a lot of opportunity. We can confirm or ignore certain facts. I will recap. 4.1 billion cell phones, smartphones around the world. 27 million active users monthly on Facebook, 22 daily and 17 million of them on the mobile platform. Vast marketing opportunities and video consumption that has tremendously changed how people are using their mobile phones. I would ask you to confirm the facts and start planning and making use of the mobile platform as a strong instrument of your marketing strategies. Thank you.